The President of the United States went after Jamele Hill and ESPN.
Again.
I guess he has literally nothing better to do with his life. We've discussed Jamele Hill and her position on President Trump in many different segments on the platform. I think a lot of the anger or a lot of the backlash that I might get into has 1,000% more to do with ESPN being boneheaded and so blind that they care so much about the wrong thing. And it's really on ESPN because as an article I was reading in GQ today was saying, man, they threw Jamele Hill to the wolves. Like, that's a company that does not have certain people's backs. There is some fake news floating around though, actual fake news, because usually those who are the proponent of saying fake news share the fakest of news. Charlie Kirk being the champion of the fakest of news.
The Tucker Carlson one.
Tucker Carlson, champion of actual fake news.
How many boats do you think he's been on?
How many?
He looks like a boating
How
bro
many yachts
like
could you water ski behind? So I want to get into Jamele Hill's tweets that landed her a suspension from ESPN after X amount of time. If fans really are that upset about what JJ and Stephen Ross have done, yes, Jerry Jones, don't call the players sellouts, but you're watching every Sunday. She continues to say, so we are clear, I am not advocating an NFL boycott, but an unfair burden has been put on players in Dallas and Miami with anthem directives. I don't see what's wrong with those tweets.
And she clarified as well, we got to beat this point home.
Yes.
The main point that ESPN had was, oh, she's saying boycott the end. No, no. Again, she was making a suggestion to someone that tweeted at
that would be attesting that Jamele Hill would be dumb enough to go after the sponsors that half pay her own salary. Like, she ain't that dumb. Like there's the phrase, you don't attack the gravy train, you don't attack the fucking gravy train. That's how you make your money, god damn it. And then let's get into the Trump tweet because, yeah, it's a good one. With Jamele Hill at the mic.
M-I-K-E.
It's no wonder ESPN ratings have tanked. In fact, tanked so badly it is the talk of the industry. Again, I said earlier, so this is why Twitter doesn't have an edit function. It would be unfair for him to be able to correct his presidential record because his tweets go into a presidential record. It's his writing. It's M-I-C, it's Mike, but like anybody who's attacking for spelling, like it's funny, but we've all been there. We've all been there. Rick, yes. At this point, is it something against Jamele Hill? Does she deserve to be suspended for these tweets?
No.
For breaking guideline, whatever it might be from ESPN? Is this on ESPN? How much influence does Trump have over Jamele Hill's future? What happens next? Or if you take over ESPN, let's play a what if, right?
So how am I answering these?
Don't worry, I'm gonna give you the one question, the overarching question. Here's your overarching question. You are, well, you wouldn't be commissioner, you are Bob Iger, you are running Disney
I feel like
Corp.
You're Bill Riling me when Jon Stewart goes in, like, oh, you love to make me president in these scenarios.
Yes, you are president. You are now president of the United States. What do? That's what I'm gonna finish with.
What do? I send water to Puerto Rico.
And then how do you handle the Jamele Hill situation? Because that would some reason be
First off,
2 on your docket.
Do not make me Donald Trump.
You are president of the United States.
All right, because I will never be him.
But you're president
in any facet. So I'm not going to answer that question.
Mr. President.
President of TYT Sports?
President, Mr. President.
Look, let's just make this clear. ESPN made a wrong. And they thought by her suggesting to someone and having an open-ended conversation on social media, on Twitter to be exact, saying, dude, if that's how you feel, boycott. That's pretty much how it went. She didn't say, everyone must boycott, pitchforks, let's go. No, it was, hey, if that's how you feel, just don't watch. But ESPN saw it as her saying, grab the pitchforks, boycott the NFL, which by the way, the president said as well. They saw that and they said, well, she's going after our advertisers. She's saying that no one should be watching the NFL, when really, if you think about it, the bread and butter of ESPN is the NFL. Right. The most that they paid for a sports deal, I was gonna say package, a sports deal was over $1 billion for Monday Night Football. Less than $1 billion, way less, for the NBA. Granted, those deals have led to them having less and less subscribers because people can now watch it however they please, wherever they want. So Trump also saying, and I know I'm getting a little out of order here, but Trump saying that the ratings are down, that is factually incorrect because of Jamele Hill. Guess what, dude? They were going down because our generation doesn't subscribe to cable anymore. Correct. There's so many other outlets. So why don't you get your fucking facts straight? The New York Times also had a really good piece where they fact-checked Trump saying that. And they have the numbers right there. So it has nothing to do with Jamele Hill. It has everything to do with our generation and many others not wanting to pay $174 a month at a minimum for internet and cable. It's just not our thing. And then like 2 cable boxes, whatever. It's just not that thing. So
rent one for $99.
So however he wants to do it, it's fine. But the main point is ESPN saw this as, well, she's attacking our advertisers and we don't want to have advertisers pull what they have with us and the deals that they have. So we're going to take her off air to show a sign of strength and fortitude that we will not surrender to someone saying that, when really it was just lost in translation and they got off on the wrong foot, okay? So that's deep down what it is with Jamele Hill and ESPN.
The Six's ratings were never good. From day one, from February where I think it debuted, it was not a well-rated show. That's just what the numbers were. It was 4% lower than the previous 6 o'clock hour of sports, 6 p.m. Eastern hour of SportsCenter. His and Hers, on the other hand, was a well-rated podcast and a well-rated show. That shift,
but that was also different because it was a few years ago as well.
Correct. That shift, and again, not towards politics, but away from sports and even to pop culture, is not something that ESPN's base of viewers wanted to see. When they realized that you can go and get your content for cheaper if you're a millennial, or anybody who's over 75 is not going to change their cable package or their DirecTV package. They have no idea that they still don't even know the satellites exist. The point being is, overall, you gotta be concerned that this is what the President of the United States is showing. Like, I get it, people get mad at going like, the other opinion, the other side says, he's not attacking Jamele Hill. He always promised that he wasn't gonna be politically correct. Like, you got, like, when we actually say there are so much more important things to be done, the even thought process of wasting 10 seconds on a tweet to go after an ESPN anchor and all that stuff, like it's concerning. It's deeply, deeply concerning because it's a waste of the time. And again, there's no convincing about 25%. There's about 25% of you who, I get it. You like Trump. There's nothing I could say. There is nothing I could do that would ever change your mind. And by all means, you have the freedom of expression. You have your right to vote. I would just urge you to be a little more open-minded.
Right.
At the same time, I actually think Clay Travis is right about something. So I'm going to give Clay Travis partial credit. Partial credit. I think still he sees this headline and it just pops up in his Pornhub feed. He's just really, really excited guy. He sees this Jamele Hill, like a Trump tweet, right next to the Mia Khalifa videos. So the point being here is he's saying that the very far left and the very far right, these massive ends of the spectrum, that it seems like most political networks seem to be on now, for calling it what it is. You're either all the way over here, you're all the way over there. They're all fucking boycotting.
Right.
Like, and the biggest problem with that is where Kaepernick wasn't on this spectrum. His spectrum was, I believe we should be doing more investigation into police brutality in the United States. There is obviously some form of statistical, systematic oppression of minority groups. And now it's about Jamele Hill boycotting advertisers where she wasn't even boycotting advertisers, and Trump staging publicity stunts with Mike Pence to boycott the boycotts of people boycotting the NFL and taking a knee. Like, he's actually right. It's become so insane that they're both throwing fucking Hail Marys, to use a football reference, over what their idea of a boycott, who's boycotting what.
I wouldn't even call them a Hail Mary. I would call them incomplete passes.
Incomplete passes. That's a good one, yeah.
That's what I would label passes. There's one other thing to this, and she mentioned Jerry Jones, and we could show the Jerry Jones quote real quick, just to put it into context of what she was talking about. Thank you. if there's anything that is disrespectful to the flag, then we will not play. You understand? If we are disrespecting the flag, then we won't play, period. We're going to respect the flag, and I'm going to create the perception of it. And we have. We cannot in the NFL in any way give the implication that we tolerate disrespecting the flag, and he continues on, stating this via the Dallas Morning News. We know that there's a serious debate in this country about those issues, but there's no question in my mind that the NFL and the Cowboys are going to stand up for the flag. Just so we're clear, the league, in my mind, should absolutely take the rules we've got on the books and make sure that we do not give the perception that we're disrespecting the flag. Now keep that up, and let's go to the NFLPA tweet and statement, because he's saying that it's the rules. Well, actually, with this statement, not completely true. And they support the players that want to protest and have their rights not be violated because someone is strong-arming them to not do it. So it was a good statement by the NFLPA to back their players. So just to put in perspective, this is what Jamele Hill was talking about over Twitter. Now, here's just my own theory. With Donald Trump going after the NFL and just football in general, there is a pattern of Trump being pushed out by the NFL, and I think that he has this feeling of, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna get the last laugh. And that's why he continues to go after them. Now, the history, as it states, was he had the United States, the USFL, the United States Football League, that was in the spring. And he said, if God wanted a sport in the spring, he'd have baseball or some bullshit like that. So what did he do? He decided to move the United States Football League, which seemed like it was going to be a very good rival in a different season of the year, to the NFL. He goes, no, football should be played in the fall. So what happened? The ratings went down. It was a catastrophic move for the league. As a matter of fact, what he did then to try and save face was, screw the NFL, let's sue him. So in an antitrust lawsuit, what he was awarded, $3. That's it. $3. That's all he got. And then the second pattern that leads me to believe why the NFL is always going to have it out for the NFL is that he threw his hat into the ring. If only his hair followed, because then we could really see what he was made of. He threw his hat into the ring to try and purchase the Buffalo Bills. And the NFL was like, nah, we're good. Let's just find somebody else. And they did. So there's two cases where the NFL has literally pushed him aside. So now what does he do? As the leader of the free, I'm not gonna say the free world because there are many that are not free. As the leader of this, what seems like a free world that is certainly turning into an authoritarian government, Donald Trump is trying to find a way to get the last laugh as it pertains to the National Football League, and he will always have it out for the National Football League. So do not be surprised if we see more backlash, even though 10 of the owners in the NFL donated a lot of change, including the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones giving $1 million to his campaign. But we'll let you guys think for yourself. Do us a favor, subscribe to TYT Sports on YouTube, and please like our Facebook page at facebook.com/TYT Sports.